The Paragon of Man, Smoke Pit Fairy Tales Part 3, Chapter 17, Molly Hatchet's Ghost. The rain thinned out and eventually stopped by the time we were to the desert. We passed a blue sign on the side of the road that read Victorville City Limit. I read it aloud as we passed. Victorville City Limit. Penelope took in the scenery.
Do you think the Russians didn't bomb this place because they felt sorry for these people?
I don't think it's that bad. Thom had the top unzipped with his arm hanging out the window.
At least there's plenty of sun.
He rolled his sleeves up and stuck both arms out. I stopped the Jeep at a pink building with the words Food, Gas, Beer under a sign that read Old Town Route 66. Might as well fill up here and try to get some directions. I turned my body to face the others.
Yes, but we can't stay long.
Penelope opened the passenger door.
If that bounty hunter caught up to us that quick, he's probably not on foot either.
I shrugged and the four of us walked inside. Penelope asked me,
"Where's the tank?"
Maybe about half. I took a glance around the room. The walls were white and bare besides dust. There was one long bar that stretched around the entire room except for the doorways. A few people sat on stools eating. An old, thin and gray man asked from behind the counter,
"Can I help you?"
Yes, sir. We're going to need about 10 gallons of fuel and maybe something for lunch.
Well, take a seat. Someone will get to you.
We sat in the front so we could keep an eye on the Jeep through the window.
Do you think they know where we're going?
Ginny asked.
I think they just got lucky hearing about us in Big Bear, and it was chance they caught us broken down on the side of the road.
We didn't say anything about where we were going in Big Bear, did we?
I think just north. But how much stuff is in NorCal? I don't think I've ever really been up there.
I've only been up that way a few times. I couldn't imagine Sacramento or Frisco would still be standing, but I don't know, there's a lot of small towns and wilderness.
And how large the bounty is could affect how long they're willing to look for us.
How big could that be, though?
If those people's families all chipped in, it could be pretty high. Plus, if word spreads, others will want to turn us in to get us out of their communities.
I shrank a little into the stool. Well, sorry for getting you guys into this. I didn't have 1 ounce of regret for what I did, only that the last people on the planet I cared about were caught up in my mess. Penelope wrapped her fingers around mine.
I'm just glad to have you back. And I have your back.
She always knew how to make me feel loved. Big, smaller, seemingly indifferent. Penelope handled my heart with the ferocity of a mama bear protecting her cubs and the gentleness of a samurai tending to a cherry blossom.
We could go east instead.
Well, we could, but that's all desert into Texas. We'd still have to go north first, then hook east. I don't know if we'd be able to survive out there for that long.
Right. Have to go north first and all that.
We still don't have a map.
Now, maybe we should just say fuck it and go all the way up to Canada and stay there.
Or we could push back south to Mexico. There's probably more society left there.
Yeah, but with the gang violence down there before the bombs dropped, what's that gotta be like now? Besides that, do any of us speak Spanish? Ginny raised her hand.
Kind of.
The old man from the front felt his way up to the bar.
So, what can I get for you folks to eat?
I looked up at him. He was wrinkled. His hair was long, stringy, and white. His eyes were glazed, and they looked like a cup of coffee someone poured too much milk into. I didn't notice it when we came in, but he had a small series of healed burn marks over his eyes. I waved a hand in front of his face. He didn't follow. Yep, blind. We're fine with whatever you have. I put my hand down.
That be 4 of you?
Yes, sir. He walked away, running his fingers on the bar for directions. We sat silent until he brought us a plate with 4 large burritos.
I'll let you know when you're done that you can pull your truck out back and I'll get you some gasoline.
We ate quietly, then called for the old man. He took the plate. Penelope gave him a few gold coins, and I pulled the Jeep to the back of the building. The others were by a large above-ground fuel tank. The back lot was filled with junk. There was a large white fuel tank, wooden crates, some busted, some not, and scrap metal littered the ground. A rack of older assault weapons lined the back wall. Next to it sat a box labeled explosives. Quite an arsenal you got back here.
Oh yeah, trying to stay prepared after the damn Russians nuked everything. We never knew what'd come next. We'd fight off some bandits now and again. Thugs too. Everyone's out to get for themselves.
Tell me about it.
It wasn't too bad at first. With the government gone, not breathing down anyone's backs anymore, the power's out, yeah, but I was working on a way to get us running again with the electric. Then I had an accident, and I can't see nothing no more.
He pulled down the nozzle for the fuel and held it out, presenting it to us. Thom took it and put it into the back of the Jeep.
What was the accident, if you don't mind me asking?
The old man started turning a crank by the end of the tank to pump in gas.
Well, the damn commies dropped a bomb right in my backyard. Good for us it was a dud. I opened her up, pulled out her core, and tried to find a way to use it as a generator.
The four of us stared at the old man.
Still got it. It's in that box there right over yonder.
I looked inside the box by the racks. I didn't know exactly what was in it, but it looked dangerous.
And then, while I was working on it, I couldn't get a piece of it to open. So I tried to eat some of the coating away and ended up with acid on my face. But that's my fault. I should have been wearing glasses.
So you have an armed nuclear warhead in your back lot. I was a little on edge at that point, but the old man smiled.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go off. It would have already if it were gonna.
What about the people in this town? Won't the radiation hurt you?
Not any more than the fallout from LA has. The casing is contained, or at least it was last time I saw.
I looked back down at the mess of components. So there's nothing to this then.
Nope, wouldn't be hard to put back together though. There should be a little square slot at one end. That's where the trigger was.
Trigger?
I don't know what it'd actually be called, but it was a small explosive piece that would detonate and activate the core. It's out now, but you wouldn't need much boom to put in there to set her all off.
I inspected the bomb. Why do you think it didn't go off? The old man sat down on a crate.
Best I could guess was the trigger didn't work. From what I could tell, it was armed, but the last time I worked on one of those was in the 60s when I thought the ones that I built would be used on the Soviets. I thought since I used to work on the old ones, I might have been able to finagle one into working as a power plant. Out of boredom one day, I did what I thought would fix the detonator. I think it's still sitting right beside it. Put a Claymore detonator to it in case I wanted to set the thing off.
I don't think nuclear bombs and power plants work the same way.
Thom pulled the nozzle out and hung it up. The old man shrugged, smiled, and pointed at his eyes.
Didn't think it hurt to try. Oops.
I grinned, but I didn't laugh. Penelope had a confused look on her face.
Why would you want to put a nuclear warhead back together?
I don't know. In case the Russians' army showed up, I figured I might be able to take out a good lot of them.
Okay.
Or at the very least, it would get rid of the damn birds.
Huh?
These damn crows, they're everywhere now. They used to eat up everything in LA and San Diego, but now can't go there without dying. They've been pestering around everything here. I used to shoot at them.
He pointed to his face.
They've been eating all our food. Hell, we barely even eat what we've been able to grow around here. We gotta sell stuff and bring in food from other places.
How's that work for you out in the desert?
Better than you think.
All right. I patted my legs. We should probably get headed out. The others agreed. Oh, hey, before we go, you got somewhere I could take a piss? The old man pointed to the building with his hoof-knobbed fingers.
The other side of the building, there's a shit shack. It's painted blue.
I waved even though I knew he couldn't see me. All right, I'll be back in a minute. I walked around the building and didn't see where the old man directed me. I figured maybe he meant the other building. He couldn't have known where he was pointing. I walked around the block until I found a little blue hut and knocked on the hatch.
I'll be out in a minute.
The inhabitant replied to the knock. I rolled my eyes and leaned back on the wall. After a couple of minutes, I decided to just piss in a corner and I'd be done with it. I found a cove and relieved myself. Right when I zipped up, someone tapped me on the shoulder. Turned around just in time for my eyes to meet a fist. I don't remember hitting the ground. I woke up kissing concrete. I didn't move right away. Someone was talking a few feet away.
There you are. I found them for you.
You did. I believe I owe you something.
There was a brief pause, and then the woman said,
Thank you very much, sir.
I looked up to see a frumpy brunette woman in her 40s talking to a tall blonde virescent wearing a brown leather jacket. God damn it. I was back behind the restaurant. Thom, Penelope, and Ginny and the old man were cuffed, face down by the Jeep, glaring at the bounty hunter. He kept up his small talk with the woman. I jerked my hand, expecting to find it bound. My arm swung freely. There's no fucking way. I went to move, but my legs were chained together. I held in my frustration. I lightly patted myself down. My weapons were all gone. I reassessed my situation. They were too far away for me to really do anything. Then I remembered there was all kinds of weapons back there. I shuffled around, doing what I could to be quiet. The bounty hunter was distracted, but not that distracted. There were plenty of guns around, but there wasn't one round of ammunition. No knives or keys to free myself. Then I found the Claymore clacker wired to the nuke's detonator. I thought about how I was going to pull off using that as a threat. I didn't come up with anything good. I also didn't come up with any alternatives. I grabbed the clicker and quietly slid the detonator back into the bomb. When it was in, a series of small green lights flickered throughout the weapon. I held the clicker with my thumb on the trigger and stood up. "Hey, asshole!" Everyone jerked their head towards me.
Now just what the hell do you think you're doing?
The virescent bounty hunter turned his head towards me. "You see this?" I waved the little green trigger in my hand. "It's hooked up to the bomb. If you don't fuck the hell off right now, I'll blow up this entire fucking city."
Is that right?
He didn't seem bothered by my threat. "That's fucking right."
Kid, I don't believe that thing works. And even if it did, would you really be willing to kill all these people around here just to get rid of me?
He took a single step towards me. The brunette hag who turned us in said,
Didn't he kill all those people in Ramona?
The bounty hunter hesitated for just a moment. He squinted at me and ran his tongue beneath his upper lip.
What makes you think it works?
The old man put it back together.
That true, old man?
Yeah, that's true. I can't see no more. The damn thing blinded me. Did he put the trigger back in?
The bounty hunter peeked up and looked at the bomb.
The thing looks like a rat's nest, but it's lit up like a Christmas tree.
Oh yeah, that baby's ready to go.
Half of the bounty hunter's face twisted into a grimace. He leaned down and grabbed Penelope by the hair and put his pistol in her neck. The hate and anger that built up in her radiated from her eyes. She looked at me and slowly shook her head no. The bounty hunter jerked her forward, then back.
None of that.
He looked back up to me.
Now, from what I understand, you did your little number on those folks down south over there. You're not going to kill her just to get to me.
No, but if you hurt her, he'll murder everyone in North America.
The bounty hunter didn't take his eyes off mine. He nudged Penelope forward and crept towards me.
And if I don't kill her...
He kept creeping closer. When he was about 15 feet away, he pointed the pistol at me and shot me in the stomach. I yelped and fell to the ground. He threw Penelope to the pavement and walked over towards me.
None of you are good to me if you're not alive.
He stood over me, keeping his pistol pointed towards my chest. Oh, fuck, that hurts. I hadn't been shot in a while. It didn't hurt any less than I remembered it. I gritted my teeth and growled at him.
Now you be a good boy and stay still.
He reached for my arm with cuffs in his hand. I pushed his gun away, swept his legs out from under him, and smashed my forehead into his face. He grunted and rolled over. I stumbled up to my knees and reached for his weapon. He pushed it away and swung at me. I caught the punch with my armpit and punched his elbow in. He spun and kicked the hole in my belly. Oh, God! I buckled over and bled. He lumbered over me and reached back to throw another punch, but before he could swing, I punched him in the dick. He bent over in pain. I wrapped the chains around my ankles around his neck. He writhed for a moment, then produced a smaller pistol from his coat and put a round through each one of my kneecaps. I clawed at my legs, trying to soothe them in any way I could. I hadn't been in that much physical pain since that fucking airfield in Iran. He grabbed my hair and bashed my face into a wooden crate until I was splintered up and the crate was broken. I couldn't do much more to fight him back than twitch and claw like a drunken toddler.
It might be too much work to take you all back. Besides, Hank, you're the only one worth anything.
The bounty hunter shot the old man in the head, then Thom, splattering their brains across the ground. Oh, fuck me! I clawed around for anything to strike him with, but found nothing besides the clicker. I couldn't hit him with that. I looked over at Penelope. She was squirming to get out of her cuffs. I wasn't ready to kill her over some piece of shit fucking headhunter, but he took care of that for me. He emptied the rest of his magazine into Ginny and Penelope. They twitched for a couple of rounds, but stayed still as he finished taking out his rage on them, and that was it. Right then is when I finally died on the inside. I had nothing left I could ever hope to live for. I was helpless, hopeless, weak, broken and beaten with the love of my life, the woman who saved me from my demons, and everything, both little and big, that ever ailed me. There was nothing left to do, not one thing worth continuing on for. My face was too shattered to cry. I held the trigger in my hand and squeezed it until it clicked. To be continued. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Thanks for listening to The Paragon of Man, Smoke Pit Fairy Tales Part 3. That's right. That wasn't Chapter 17. It was Chapter 17. That was also the end of this book. Little short guy, huh? And I guess here we are again at the end of one of these. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. All 800 of you, are we at 800? All 812 of you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for lending me your ears. I don't know why I said that like that. Now, like we did with the other two books previously, we're going to take a little time off from posting, chapter to chapter, and we're going to spend the next week or two talking to the voice actors in live streams. Don't worry, that'll all be here on this channel. Let's see, what do we got posted? Or scheduled, anyway. So Wednesday, which is today, the 24th. Is it the 24th? No, today's the 22nd when I'm making this video, but you're watching this on the 24th. Well, we were supposed to talk to Chuck tonight, but he's got some stuff going on. Chuck plays Doc and Friends. We're supposed to talk to him tonight, but he's got some personal stuff going on. I don't know if we're going to be talking to him this cycle, but don't worry, he'll be back for the next book. But Tuesday, tomorrow, we should have Steve Agostine on. Who did he play? He played the old man, the mech pilot in Primero. 26. I've got someone written down on the 26th. Then the 26th, which is Friday, around 9:30 p.m.-ish East Coast time, we should be talking to Travis Weidemann. Who did he play? He played the bounty hunter and De La Garza and the Fonz for the 3 seconds he was fucking in it. Saturday night, we should be talking to Matt Kevsky-Cavicius, who played... I've got the credits pulled up. What the fuck? Oh, he played Correa. I knew that too. Also, I got done recording this book, last year. Actually, it might have been February or March, so... sorry, I'm not remembering who played who. I got a cheat sheet. I'm going to talk to Azalandra Danstar on the 30th. I got to schedule a pickle at some point still. But then I'm talking to Diane Spencer on August 2nd at about 3 p.m. EST, and she... oh, God, always. Anyway, the wonderful Diane Spencer played Penelope and Aya and Samantha. I'm going to poke fun at her about that Scottish voice, because that was fucking phenomenal as far as I'm concerned. Hello, I'm an old lady. I can't do that voice. I don't know, I think everybody liked that voice. Everybody I talked to about it liked that voice. But then on the 3rd, I'm going to talk to Hollis Jo McCallum, who did through throwaway voices here and there. She played the old lady, and then I think Artasia, or the Victorville woman. And then on the 4th, we are going to talk to Ryan History Daddy Day, who played a couple of the background characters as well as Thom. And then on August 7th, we're going to have the first chapter of Chain Smoke Your Problems Away, Smoke Pit Fairy Tales Part 4, premiering on YouTube. By the way, this is both the thickest book and the one with the most dialogue. I mean, for comparison, this is book 3 and this is book 4. I believe, I did the math on this, I have to double check, but I believe we're going to be running this book until June of 2025. 2025. Maybe May? I think June 2025 is when this book is going to run through. But if you don't want to wait for this whole thing to go through, this book is not on Audible yet, but I am working on it, and if you hop over to Patreon, I put the chapters up there as soon as I get done with them. I think we're on chapter 12 or 13 over there. We're a good bit ahead. But anyway, on that, I would like to thank everyone who has tuned in, and I would like to thank everyone who's tuning in over on Patreon, and everyone who's got the war chest, which is, these books inside of a 50 caliber ammo can with, patches and stickers and all that. And I just got a whole buttload of new postcards. Don't know why I just showed you the 2 when I got the box. Anyway, go check that out. Also, only the next few war chests that go out are going to get the original patch. I've only got a few of these left, and then it's going to be a new patch after this that goes into it. So if you want one of these, you might want to grab that war chest. But thanks to everyone who's grabbed one. All right! I also went and put a bunch of new prints of the artwork up on the website, so if you want to help out the channel, that'd be a good way to grab those. And they're all... We talked about these last video, I think. I showed you. When I get some more in, I'll joist them around a little bit more. But yeah, if you want some smoke pit art for your wall, that link's in the bio and you can frame it hanging on your wall. Alright, let's check out the comments from the last video. Oh wait, hold on, before I go any further, if you can't catch the live streams that are coming up and you want to say something or pass along a message to any of the voice actors, leave a comment down below and I will relay that to them or ask them that question or say what's up to them whenever we talk to them. Alright, now on to the last video's comments. Jarhead, the Goon Boss sounds like a OG Call of Duty Modern Warfare character. Cool. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about that. Canetwood, oh wow, fantastic. I really enjoyed the chapter. Thanks for posting it. Thanks for listening. Hope you had fun with this one. TQ Sneed, oh yeah. As good as bottled in bond. I don't know what that means, but alright. Thanks for coming. Bradley, speaking of the stuff related to the earlier books, do you think you'll ever remaster, so to speak, the earlier books? Not change the overall content, but no offense, improving spelling and fixing the kind of stuff that irks you now as a better writer. And I like the name you mentioned. I'd totally buy that because the spelling in the first few books got to me a bit. Also, super fucking cool. You wrote the first two while on deployment. Sounds like an awesome pastime, LMFAO. Okay, so here's the thing with that. Yes and no. I'm gonna tell you a little story about the first Smoke But Fairy Tales novel. Now, I know, like in the last video, I told you that I wrote it on the bottom of a shirt, right? Yeah. So right on the bottom of a shirt, having a couple buddies read it, and then once you're getting closer to it, or not closer to it, but like you go out and you try to find a literary agent, but you quickly learn that the way that works, to get a literary agent, you have to have gone to high school or college with someone who would become one, or your dad or uncle has to be in big publishing, maybe an aunt if you're lucky. But either way, it's nepotism. That's how you go down the main track. However, I happen to be fortunate enough to live in an era where, hey, like the whole self-publishing thing is a big fucking deal nowadays, and it's rivaling fucking traditional publishing. However, everything does fall back onto you. So what I would do for spelling and all that, or proofreading, was, I got 5 or 10 friends, all in the barracks at the time, and I had the book printed out in sheets, and had them go through it and red pen everything. And then after that, I got a couple of buddies who were in the public affairs section, whose job was to write and edit things, have them go over it and red pen it, and say what was right and what was wrong. And then after that, I hired an editor and spent about $1,000 on someone red penning it and telling me what's spelled right and not. And then I said fuck it and published it. And by the way, this is the first edition of this book. Yeah, far cry from this. This is the second one. This one didn't come along until I published the second book. And when I published the second book, I had this one re-edited. It was another $1,000. It's about a year later. So by the time you got to this one, and this isn't the best quality of it. This is my old proof. It's all ripped up and old. And this one's also been red marked to ship, but I'll go there in a second. But by the time this one gets to the shelf, I've already spent about, $2,500 on making sure all the words were spelled right by professionals. And still, the quickest way to find a fucking spelling error is to go, here. That's the word orbit. I spelled orbit right there. So yeah, no, that is a constant struggle with the self-published world. I also am not swimming in cash, so, I can't afford to, just have it done all the time. Though I do update these, I want to say, well, it used to be a lot more regular than it is. It's a little unregular now. I haven't actually fucking updated any of these since I think 2020 or 2021. It was during COVID. That was the last major one. There was only 6 books out last time I did this. But I'll tell you this, I'll make this deal with you. And this goes to everyone out there forever. Maybe not forever, but as long as I'm alive and still doing this. How about this? Now, if you open the books and you go 1 page, 2 page, you have the table of contents, and go to the acknowledgments. And this is just for an example on the first page, not first page, but on the acknowledgments page. It says, "Thank you, Parker Klobuchar, Aaron Shaw, Christopher O'Quinn." I don't know why I said Christopher O'Quinn, and to the regulars at smoke pits, smoke decks, bars, sailors and Marines, soldiers and airmen around the globe for inspiring the nonsense put together into this story. I'll make a deal with you. That page there says that. If you buy my book, the hard copy, and it does have to be a book that's printed the year that this happens. So, if you're going to do this now, it has to have been printed in 2024. If you do this in 2 years, 2026. Etc., because things move on. And by the way, when you get these, it says that in the back, when and where it was printed. So on that, but if you go through this book with a red pen and you get at least, I'm gonna say, 20 actual fucking errors, and then you mail it to me, and you're gonna mail that to Trip Ainsworth at Box 12, Asheville, Pennsylvania 16613, or P.O. Box. You send it there. Next time I do the update thing, I'll put your name in the acknowledgments. But they have to be actual fucking corrections, though. Not you disagreeing with the stylistic choice. Like saying that you shouldn't have used the Oxford comma here. You should have used the fucking AP guide on this. No. That does not count. Right where I said there instead of there. But yeah. That's the deal on that. So on that, I know that you might have some questions about how the Paragon of Man ended, and I will go ahead and tell you up front, no fucking spoilers. If you want to know, you're just going to have to keep listening. Or go buy the book and read it. Or go buy the next books and read it. Or come listen over on Patreon. Get a little bit ahead of everyone else. But on that, I'll see you in 2 weeks when we start Chain Smoke Your Problems Away, Smoke Pit Fairy Tales Part 4. And between now and then, make sure to come tune in and hang out on the live streams. All right, catch you around. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Chapter 17, Take 4.
And, yeah, here we go.
Scrolling down, scrolling down.
Testing, test my testicles.
Not any more than the fallout from... Fuck. Redo.
Okay, first I'm gonna sniffle. My bad. Sorry. Sinuses are still a bitch. Here we go.
Victorville's silly limit. Silly limit. We've reached our silly limit. I hate that.
Hank needs to piss. Next page.
I think just north. But how much stuff is in North Cal? Oh, fart.
Oh, bounty hunter arrives. All right, do I have any more lines after the bounty hunter arrives? Hank, bounty hunter. Hank, bounty hunter. Victorville woman. Hank, bounty hunter. I'm going to do that one again in case you want a second take.
Do it one more time.
I thought, since I used to work on the old ones, I might be able to finagle one into working as a power plant. And I'm just going to have to fucking start that one over.
Oh, I'm very pleased to be part of this project. Thank you very much. Good luck on the edit. I'm gonna do those other 2 characters. That's my job. I might not be able to do it today, but I'm on the case. Take care, champ.
I believe that's everything.